Welcome to the series Critical Thinking Skills in Science. This is Chapter 4, Building Our Own Philosophy, Session 5. We can see the progress of how we're doing by looking at the house. We started with ground zero, which was the culture, which is the Weltbild stage of including all the pressures that form our concept of the world, our framework of the world, our picture of the world. Then based on our picture of the world, which is our cultural influence, whether it be Western, non-Western, now we've established the foundation of the house, which is the source of reliable knowledge according to epistemology. Epistemology has to do with knowledge. So what is our source? We've gone through what our source is, and now we're up in metaphysics. And this session completes the metaphysics, which is our basic beliefs, the three branches of metaphysics. Metaphysics has three branches to it. Number one is theology. Does God exist? And I say yes. I choose to say yes, God does exist, and He is knowable. And He has communicated to us through general and special revelation. Ontology, what is real? I believe that there is a real physical world that exists outside of my thinking of it. And therefore, but I do not have direct access, correspondence with that real world directly. I know it through my perceptions. I know it through my theory, habit, prejudice, and culture. So therefore, I am what they call a critical realist, believing in, yes, there exists a real world, a real physical world, but I do not have direct access to it. I know it imperfectly. Number three is our universal science, the search for first causes. My metaphysics. Number three, my universal science, is based on my source of reliable knowledge. Again, same verse, Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So what is my universal science? What is my prime mover? What is the first cause? For a lot of other philosophies, their first cause is something within the system, closed system. So for Heraclitus, it was the logos. It was the fire. It was this originating principle and power that ordered the universe, that ordered the matter into what we see today. It was a fire that gave life. And so everybody has their first cause, and there has to be an assumed first cause, whatever it is. And so like I said, we're using my source of reliable knowledge, being Scripture, tells us that the first cause is in the beginning God. He is the first cause. He is the originator of everything else that exists. There's nothing that existed before Him, and He exists separate from what He has created. But yet He is still immanent within that creation. So my metaphysics is my universal science begins with God. And then God proceeded to create everything else that is real within my world. My metaphysics then, what is it? What's it look like? Number one, my theology. Does God exist? Yes. But just a yes doesn't explain all about my God that does exist. And therefore, if you're working on your metaphysics, your question number one is your theology. Does God exist? Yes or no. And if yes, then you need to really describe and what is that God? What can he and can't he do? What does he know and what does he not know? Ontology. What is real? What do you believe to be real? I believe in critical realism, in that there is a real world that does exist, but I do not have direct access to it. One-to-one correspondence. I do not have that. I have it imperfectly, as a shadow. I know that there exists a real world, but I know it only imperfectly through my experiences, through my theory, habit, prejudice, and culture. My universal science is based on my source of reliable knowledge, which is an external authority as revealed by special and general revelation. God. God is the beginning. God is the mover. God is the creator. God is what exists apart from everything that was created. Again, we're wrapping up on metaphysics. I just want you to have a general concept of what is metaphysics, and that it is an important aspect that you need to fill in the answers to, and those answers need to come from your source of reliable knowledge. Again, I do believe in a real world. I do believe that I have access to that real world, but my access produces a knowledge that is imperfect of that real world, a knowledge that is influenced by my theory, habit, prejudices, and culture. Again, Stephen Jay Gould's quote, "First facts do not come to us as objective items, seen in the same unambiguous way by all reasonable people." Okay, that is almost a critical realist position, in that facts do not come to us as objective items. Do you believe that? See, and that's why I've chosen Stephen Jay Gould, because he is a scientist that reflects my same values of critical realism. First facts do not come to us as objective items. Others would say, yes, they do. They are objective. I can observe them, and it is a correspondence, one-to-one reality that I can know directly without any bias involved. But Stephen Jay Gould says, no, we're reasonable people, but being reasonable people, theory, habit, prejudice, and culture all influence the facts we choose to observe and the way in which we perceive them. What do you do with that quote? Do you agree with it? Is there something you don't agree with? And that's part of this course, is developing your mind, worldview, and position so that we can defend it and justify it of what we say. And so that is critical thinking. That is critical thinking, when we can justify the position that we have taken philosophically through worldview. Again, here's the house and where we're at in it. We started with culture. We went to epistemology, which is the source of reliable knowledge. We went to metaphysics and answered the questions of metaphysics. So next session, we're going to be moving on, building our house, continuing with the next stage that philosophy offers. So this is the end of session number 5. This is chapter number 4 of Building Our Own Philosophy, and we are halfway through. So I hope you're keeping up, and I hope you're thinking about it and processing all this information and being able to understand what you need to do with it, how important it is, because Richard Dawkins challenged us to accept the Darwinian worldview and that it is the only theory that really can answer the mystery of our existence. Do you believe that? And if you don't, then what is your position? And what is your worldview? What is your philosophy? And how do you justify it? We're Tim and Holly Nyquist. And if you'd like to communicate with us, you can do so through thnacademia@gmail.com or our website that has links to all the videos, which is cultureworldvieworigins.net. Thank you again for joining me, and hope to see you in session number 6.